Swiss Army knife with a review on this pet safe, healthy Simply Feed. I really like this. There's probably only one item that I sort of have a negative on, but you know what? I got over it very quickly because it's simple to use, it's handy, it holds a lot of food. So I was going to unbox this. I bought two because I have two dogs. One's going to be fed outside, one's going to be fed inside. And we also have a little Chihuahua that has food, and I made a small doggy door for them using another pet safe product that rotates wet food. And the dogs can't get in now, which they used to be able to just go in and eat their food and stuff like that. So this is what happens when you move the food in a place where the big dogs can't get at and the little dogs are getting. This is nice when you're either got busy days and you just want to feed your dogs automatically, or you're gone, you know, and you go, oh gosh, we can't go anywhere because we got to find somebody to feed the dogs. This solves that problem. You can set the programs to feed 1, 2, 3 times a day. You can have it trickle out, but if you've got two dogs and you've got one other hungry dog, which I have a black lab that just will eat everything in sight, you've got to be able to separate that. So let's open it up and see what we got inside. Things I would suggest is some kind of a cutting knife, 4 brand new D-cell batteries, and a little bit of time. Okay. Now, the one thing that's weird about this box, just opening it, you can't just peel it open. This is glued totally, so you really just have to cut the edge. Okay, and that will open it, and then cut it so it's like a lid. Okay, and then you can pull the flap back, but otherwise it's a real pain to open, so don't try and get your fingernails or anything in there. So right inside is a plastic bag, you see. Okay, pet safe logo there and everything there, and you can do it just like you would a coffee maker. You can set on the side, slide it out so nothing falls out. You get a manual with it. It's inside. It's all self-contained. It's a pretty slick product. You can rip this or you can cut it. It's your call. Now, one thing to remember, and this is something that is not in the book, you want to set the time. And sometimes you want to reset the time because you're just experimenting with it. Well, there's no real reset for the time. The only way to reset the time is to take out the batteries and put them back in. It's kind of dumb, but that's the way the programming goes in China. But again, it's a really nice unit. I like it. Comes with the dog bowl, little keeper for the dog bowl, which is right here, self-contained, and make sure you bring dog food with you, which I have here, this nice little Home Depot bucket. It's easily to clean everything. You can clean it all. It's really pretty nice. So let's get into it with batteries, okay, with starting that up. You don't need to attach your bowl or anything like that yet, but you do need to turn it on its side, or you can turn it on its upside down. Probably easier for it upside down because then the batteries won't flop around. Follow the directions. Just remember, wherever there's a spring, that's the negative or the bottom of the battery. You'll never go wrong if you do that. I don't know of any American made or American product that doesn't have the negative of the battery be towards the spring. So now you've got it in, and what they say in the book is it will be flashing with the 12 or 24 on it. I'm going to bring this up so you can see it. The 12 flashing. You can go up or arrow down, it'll say 24. So I'm going to stay on 12 because I wanted a 12-hour setting. Then you hit enter, and now the 12 is flashing. And you've got up and down arrows. So you set the time. Right now, it is 12:15. So you're good there, and you just press the button until it says the right time, up and down, and then to move to the next time, increment the minutes. You just do that, press this arrow, which is your OK button. That is your OK button. Okay, So it is 12:16. So I'm going to go 12. Okay, and now I'm done. Okay, and now I'm going to go into the programming mode. And this is where it kind of gets you a little bit with a programming mode. There's also one more question. It asks you if you got a dog or a cat, and you can do arrow up or arrow down. It defaults at dog, so I'm just going to press dog. And now it's going to take you to the programming area. But in order to start the programming, you need to hold the button down. Okay, and now the top one is going to flash number 1. Number 1 is actually what I'm doing in the morning. 8 a.m. is okay with me, but the thing you need to change is the the amount of cups you're going to get. So you just do arrow to the right, and that will cycle you through everything back and forth so you can get to it. So now I'm going to go, and I don't know if you can see the flashing 2 in the center. Not sure if you can. I'm going to hold this up so you can see it here. I think you can. So the flashing 2, that's 2 cups. So I'm going to go, this guy gets 1.5 cups. Okay, our pit bull. So that's 8 o'clock in the morning, and then I press OK, and that takes me up to the programming on top. Now I'm going to go to program number 2. And look at it, it's defaulted at 5 o'clock, which a lot of times the dogs get fed at 5 o'clock. But in this case, it's going to be 4:45. So I'm going to arrow right or left to change the flashing on the time of the hours. And I'm going to go to 4. And I'm going to move over. And it's 15-minute increments. So I just got 4:45. I didn't have to go all the way around from 0. I just went backwards. You can go backwards and forwards with the clock. And I hit enter. Now your cups are still flashing in there, so you want to get your cups right. And that's 1.5 cups. And I hit that, and it takes me back to the number 2 flashing, which is program 2. The most important thing right here is to hold down the button for 5 seconds. Now you'll see it go to program 1, and what you got to do is wait 2 minutes. And I wasn't waiting the 2 minutes. I was cycling through and going, how come it's not set up? And for the first 2 times, we couldn't get it to act right. And so when you wait 2 minutes, a lock appears, and you know you're done, and the first cycle of what your first feeding is going to show up. The time will not show up, and you'll never see the time again. That's what's kind of janky about it. But other than that, you're good. So if I sit here and talk for 2 minutes, you'll see what I mean, and I'll show you. In fact, here. After 2 minutes, there's the lock. A little bit of food came up. Okay. So when this becomes 2 minutes, it will do the same. You got your nice bowl here. Open up your bowl. And don't try to hook it up with the bowl on it. Just come over here. Do this before you put the food in, okay? This snaps up in like that, and it comes out real easy, okay? So you can take it out and clean the bowl with it. And the bowl fits in like so, okay? And you're pretty much ready to go. Now you just got to add dog food, okay? Put that over there. We're still waiting our 2 minutes. Now I've taken the liberty of having a couple of cheap Ring cameras, like the $50, $60 Ring cameras, and I put them right next to their food. I could not find a feeder that had a camera that was worth its salt. That's why I didn't buy one with a camera, because they're usually small. They got small feeder containers and everything, and they just weren't what you needed. So if you spend $60, because if you're doing this, you probably have a real need to have this work. So if you spend, $60 on a Ring camera and you just set it right by the food, you can see your guys. And I think some of the cameras you can even talk to them. So Now it's been 2 minutes. Hopefully you can see that. There's our lock. Okay, it's programmed, ready to go. So I'm gonna put dog food in there. And you can see it holds a lot of dog food. Now, if you have ruffian dogs that are, playing like bears, they might be able to get into it. They might be able to squeeze a couple of things out. But the way this is set up is it's completely locked, okay? So when you unlock this, then it unlocks this. It's a little conveyor belt. Look at that. So you just press you can unlock and then press the feed. Now how did I unlock that? I press the top button and the center button. And you can see this thing's just feeding out something. And it works just great. It also lets you know when you're out of food.